The calmest person in a chaotic room usually holds a distinct advantage. While everyone else is distracted by the noise, caught up in the performance of their own lives, one person remains completely silent. They aren't performing, they are observing. That observation reveals a weakness in the average human mind. Most people live almost entirely on autopilot. They are driven by emotions they rarely pause to examine, reacting instantly to wounded pride, sudden fear, or unverified desire. Niccolo Machiavelli noticed this centuries ago. He recognized that because people are slaves to these internal emotions, their behavior is highly predictable. A fearful person is easy to pressure. A proud person is easy to provoke. The core psychological flaw driving this predictability is avoidance. The average mind instinctively protects itself from discomfort, actively choosing the warmth of a comforting illusion over the sharp pain of confronting reality.
When you constantly seek reassuring lies, you become incredibly easy to control. Tell someone the comforting fiction they want to hear, and they will follow you anywhere. There is a countermeasure to this predictability, a state of mind known as dangerous intelligence. It is entirely silent. It does not boast, doesn't try to win every argument, and it demands zero attention. It relies entirely on ruthless self-awareness. Think of it like a psychological patch for your mental operating system. It systematically seals the vulnerabilities manipulators rely on to access your decisions. This mental armor doesn't come naturally. It is built in private, forged by practicing 6 daily habits. While the average mind scans a room looking for applause or validation, the dangerous mind scans that exact same room collecting data. Mastering these private habits removes the very levers others use to move you. You transition from a predictable target into a psychological force that cannot be manipulated. The first major vulnerability to address is the ego. When your identity attaches to a specific belief, your mind becomes rigid. You stop testing your ideas and start defending them automatically. The first habit breaks this rigidity. It requires sitting alone and asking a terrifying question. What if I am completely wrong? This leads directly to the next habit, the discipline of real-time correction. An intelligent mind abandons false assumptions the exact moment new evidence appears. There is no emotional performance, no stubborn denial, and no excuses. Watch what happens when circumstances shift. A rigid mind snaps under pressure because it insists reality must conform to its beliefs. An adaptable thinker survives because they prioritize accurate data over absolute consistency. By treating an error as a strategic upgrade rather than a personal humiliation, you destroy a manipulator's ability to trap you in a lie or stroke your pride. The second vulnerability is the reflex to flee. Most people bury painful memories immediately and ignore any information that lacks a superficial, immediate benefit. That is why the third habit is reinterpreting past experiences. A dangerous mind dissects old betrayals, failures, and humiliations, not to wallow in regret, but to extract raw data about human weakness and hidden motives. Expand that beyond your own life, and you arrive at the fourth habit, cultivating a deep curiosity for seemingly useless, complex topics. If you study history, ancient philosophy, or power structures, you quickly realize that across centuries of technological progress, human behavior rarely changes. These two habits combine to create a highly tuned system of pattern recognition. Connecting your own personal pain with historical patterns allows you to see hidden motives long before they materialize in the room. Possessing superior pattern recognition strips away the element of surprise. When human behavior reveals itself as a predictable loop, no one can catch you off guard. The final vulnerability is the desperate need for external approval. Emotional reactivity hands the controls of your mind directly to the people around you. To sever this string, the second habit involves quietly analyzing your own emotions. Instead of blindly obeying a sudden flash of anger or insecurity, you insert a pause. You study the trigger in real time. Which brings us to the final habit, learning to enjoy absolute solitude. Facing the absolute silence of your own mind cures emotional dependency. It replaces the frantic fear of isolation with profound internal peace. If you no longer fear rejection and you refuse to be bought with cheap praise, society loses absolutely all leverage over your behavior. Adopting these 6 habits removes you from the crowd. You shift from a reactive, emotional puppet into an active, impenetrable observer. Machiavelli understood a core rule of human nature. Understanding how other people think grants you power, but understanding exactly how your own mind works grants you invulnerability. The most absolute form of power doesn't demand the room's attention. It is built entirely in silence.